Oh, you don't look good, man. Comrade PJ Patterson, guest of honor, happy belated birthday. But this is a birthday period, it's not a one-day thing. So we're in the middle of it now. Premier Mystic, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, sir. All the protocols have been duly observed and occasionally repeated, so I'm not going to try and do that. Just to say to everyone who's here, thank you so much for being part of this and for being present on a very special occasion. I was just thinking about the fact that we have had the opportunity tonight to hear on this platform from, and I'm not going to call everybody's name, but the persons whose names I call are because of the fact that where we are in their lives and our lives. So we've had Paul Burke, we've had Vin Lawrence, we've had Maxine Henry Wilson, we've had John Juna, all of them, and we will have Comrade PJ Patterson all speaking on the platform. And you know, it's a special moment, a historic moment for the party to have all of those stalwarts contributing and doing so in such an open and honest, authentic way about somebody who we all love and who we all respect in a maximum fashion. Now, the first encounter I had with PJ Patterson was actually through a letter. And it was a letter after my father had passed away in 1996, saying that the cabinet had decided to rename the Mona Rehab Center in his honor, the Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Center. I was not in politics at the time. I was a grieving son and a lawyer and investment banker and so on. But I was very grateful that the government of the day had seen fit to honor him in that way. And so it left an impression on me. Many years later, when Dr. Omar Davis, who I see there, had decided that he was going to be exiting public life, and various people were pushing and pulling me to step up as the chairman of South St. Andrew. I was on the executive for many years, but really it was just out of interest for, you know, being close to Trenchtown and the culture of the community and so on. I was doing it. I didn't have any strong political ambitions, but I was persuaded to step up, and we had a contest for the chairmanship. It was contested, and as part of the strategy, we had a dinner at the Four Seasons Hotel for the delegates, and I invited Comrade PJ Patterson to be the guest speaker, to come. And to my immense relief, he said yes. And he came and he spoke. And he spoke to the delegates in terms which made me feel that he saw in me somebody who should get his support, because he felt it was important for the party and for Jamaica to encourage persons with maybe my background and so on to step into the arena. And it meant a great deal to me at the time. Subsequently, the next conversation of that nature that I remember was in Parliament. He was in Parliament as a former Prime Minister, etc. I don't remember what the occasion was, but he said to me, and I don't have the gift of his memory, so the details may not be 100% accurate, but the message is accurate. And he said to me, Mark, you have to step up. The future is going to call on you to step up, so be prepared for it. And that kind of went over my head, to be honest, because at the time, again, that wasn't something I was considering, but coming from him, it was a very meaningful thing. And then, of course, subsequently, when I became president of the party and then leader of the opposition, we have become, I would say, good friends. And we have He's like, I would describe PJ as a kind of father figure / uncle figure in my life now, because, and you know, life is so odd that that could happen. You know, I'm 59 now, so I should really not require that kind of mentorship, but I do. And it is a real privilege. It's a real privilege. It's more than a privilege. It is, in fact, a tremendous gift to be able to receive it from somebody as esteemed, as knowledgeable, and as great a politician as P.J. Patterson. And you know, what is remarkable about P.J. is, although they say it's his 90th birthday and all that, and the truth of the matter is that he's as sharp as a whip, you know. Yes. And he's totally interested in everything that's going on. You know, he has not withdrawn. He says he's in the pavilion, but he's very, very active from the pavilion, not in an intrusive way, as has been said, but in a way where he lets you know that he has something he'd like to share with you. It's up to you to take up that offer. But of course, invariably, one takes up the offer because it's PJ. And he is full of wisdom, obviously, full of a deep understanding of Jamaica, Jamaican politics, Jamaican history, but also just his network of people that he knows is just phenomenal. PJ just seems to know everyone and know them well and can tell me about this one and that one. So I benefit tremendously from his guidance, from his knowledge, his experience. This is a man, after all, who worked closely with Norman Washington Manley. Daddy Manley. I mean, I was born in 1965. Daddy Manley died in what, 1969, was it? Yeah. But he worked with the man. His entry into politics was under that man. That man was a mentor to him. I mean, you know, when all of those constitutional discussions were taking place in the run-up to independence and the decision to take the matter, well, first federation to a referendum, you know, PJ was in the picture. You know, PJ was playing his role as a young lawyer in training and playing a role in that. And of course, he was a seminal figure in the ascendancy of Michael Manley to the leadership of the party. I think you were his campaign manager. And, you know, no doubt you added a dimension to Michael's political career, which hasn't probably been adequately analyzed and recognized. But the fact that PJ is really the embodiment of the new Jamaica, the potential of Jamaica coming out of independence, you know, I think that must have given a great deal to what Michael was able to achieve. And then, as has been said, his skillful interpersonal relationship management also needs to be recognized, so that when he and Portia had their brief and very unequally yoked contest, as it turned out, in 1993 or thereabouts, after that, he was able to bring everything back together in the party and in the government seamlessly. There was no turbulence. Portia's worth was duly recognized, and she was happy to play that part and emerge subsequently to become the leader of the party many years later. And you know, we've heard some wonderful tributes tonight. I want to particularly pay tribute to the tribute from former party leader Dr. Peter David Phillips, whose astute understanding of Jamaican politics and the PNP itself enabled him to encapsulate so many of the great things that PJ either stood for or was able to achieve in his time. For my own part, It is absolutely remarkable that one individual could have done so much in a lifetime. I remember hearing somewhere, again, I'm not sure if it was in Parliament, I don't see how it could have been in Parliament, but I associate it with Parliament. Somebody read out the list of honors and awards that have been bestowed on P.J. Patterson. And let me tell you, it is extensive from all over the world. The man is an international figure. The man is somebody who is recognized and respected in many corners of the earth and continues to be. He is the father figure for CARICOM. Even though he has been long out of the politics, he is still playing that role. And of course, up at the university with the P.J. Patterson Center, he's bringing new life to the relationship between Africa and her diaspora. And in the topsy-turvy era that we are in now, where recent events are showing that the earth is moving into a new dispensation which none of us is prepared for, and none of us really understands fully what's motivating it or where it is going, but we know that it is having profound ramifications on the world economy, on geopolitics, etc., etc. It is relationships like the one that he's seeking to forge with Africa that we are going to have to increasingly depend on for our survival as an independent country. So I say to PJ, the institution builder par excellence. I mean, when you look at the period that he was in office as Prime Minister, not only the infrastructure assets that are his legacy, which are substantial, the North Coast Highway from Hanover to Portland, the East-West Toll Road, now named in his honor, which is a remarkable project. I was very involved in that project as a lawyer in the private sector when it was being rolled out in between 2001 and 2003. I was the lawyer for the French developers of the toll road. But the structure of that whole project is very sophisticated and, required a kind of leadership that understood how to empower able people to execute because they could be relied on to do it in the best interest of Jamaica. And I'm talking about people like Vin Lawrence and Dr. Kingsley Thomas and Wayne Reed, etc. Those people were able to deliver for Jamaica because PJ empowered them to do so. When you talk about the National Health Fund, John, when you talk about the Drugs for the Elderly program, you talk about the PATH program, there are many, many, many institutions which are the legacy of PJ's term of office. And one of the great criminal injustices to the confidence of Jamaica and our sense of ourselves and our place in history is the distortion of the record of that period of time, which has been a deliberate political tactic by our opponents and which we erred in allowing to take some kind of hold. I'm only glad that PJ is still sufficiently brilliant that he himself could come and present in a series of 2 public gatherings his side, not his side of the story, the actual record of that period. And there's more to be said, but a lot was said. And I think Jamaica has a better appreciation for those 18 years as years where Jamaica took huge leaps forward for our people. And if you compare it to the record of the last 9 years, where there is no institutions built, not even one school has been built. PJ built, I can't remember the number, of 16, 17 high schools in his time. And that schools was only just one aspect of what he built. So many things. So I'm just proud to be a member of the People's National Party that has had leaders like him. And I just feel very blessed that he's still so strong, despite the accident he had not a couple years ago, got a bad lick, rallied back from that. Many people that would have been life-ending, they wouldn't have had the fortitude to continue a vibrant life, a life of giving, a life of participation, like how PJ, in the way that PJ has been able to, and not only been able to, but has shown his determination and strength to get through that and continue to shine like a beacon of erudition, a beacon of knowledge, a beacon of strength of character. So we are really blessed. And I'm very proud that I happen to be, by whatever means, quirks of fate and history, happen to be standing here as the leader of the party at this time to thank him for all that he is doing still for our noble movement. We are truly blessed, Sir PJ, comrade leader PJ Patterson. You're indelibly woven into the DNA of the People's National Party, and this movement will forever bear the benefits of what you have done, the work you have given, the sacrifice you have made for over 60 years of service. May God continue to bless you, strengthen you, give you good health. You have a lot more to contribute, and we just look forward to being part of that, especially when we form government in the near future. One love, comrades. Power to the people.